Hi guys, welcome to this Patreon exclusive tutorial on how I paint my fire. You've seen my piece I did for Mike Mignola's portrait and it features fire. So this is the way I do it. I wet my paper slightly, dampen it slightly, not too much, by using the spray bottle, and it leaves these droplets, as you can see. These are very handy for creating textures in fire. And I go in with the first layer of Indian yellow. It's a nice warm color, and I love the slight hint of orange in that. It's warmer than the lemon yellow I'll be using later on. And basically I lay down the first layer, and I'm gonna add some more colors in there. It's oranges, like the deep gold quadrillion. I don't know how to pronounce this color. It's one of Daniel Smith's colors. I will post the links in the post so you can actually see which colors I'm using. But I'm using some oranges here to create that effect of fire. And as you can see, because of the water, the pigment is just dispersing on the paper, and this is exactly what I want. So in comes the red, which is, in this case, the Perylene Scarlet. And again, drop in some pigment there and let the water do its job. It's really that easy. And these colors start mixing. It's like, you know, it's fire starting to emerge on this. It's fun paint fire with water. It's nice. And as you see, there's a little puddle starting to form there in the middle of the page, which I don't want to have happen. So I pick up my paper and I just start moving it towards the area I want it to move towards. And I'm using my Scotch. Oh, is it Scotch? No, it's not. It's my shop towels. I use to dab away excess pigment and water on the paper. So you keep control over what's happening on the page. And as you can see, I clean my brush. And this is not what I want. Let's see. In with more Indian yellow, because there needs to be more yellow there. So these flames need to be licking. There's a bit of dry brush action there. Don't like that hard edge. So in with the blend spray again. Just wet those edges and drop in pigment. Again, some oranges. And as you see my brush go off screen, I'm continuously cleaning the brush from the pigment. Okay, so I left that to dry, and as you can see, there's a lot of texture happening, and it's slowly starting to become a flame, and I love these textures on the edge. Again, wet the paper slightly and in with more color. This is the lemon yellow I'm going to use now. And I'm doing this in the middle of the piece because of the flame, because I want it to be more saturated or intense in the middle of this flame than on the side. So you can see, because I used the spray bottle to wet the page, you can see the texture going on there, because those droplets aren't really, it's not a puddle of water, it's just tiny droplets, and I'm just putting pigment in those droplets, and you get this really fun effect happening. And it's just following those droplets and let them do the work for you, which is basically the easiest thing to do. And as the piece, as this dries, it loses its intensity. We all know that watercolor looks amazing when it's wet. It's like really vibrant and gorgeous. And then when it's dry, you tend to lose this vibrancy sometimes. So it's a matter of layering. See what happens when I add clean water. And again, pick up the palette or pick up your paper and just move it. Let the swirls work, do their magic. There's too much water going on there, so I'm dabbing it away. No matter, you can still see, this is still what's happening. More red at the base. Oh, that's a mistake. Well, you know, no worries. Deeper red. This is the deep scarlet. I'm mixing that in, trying to get another Piment Genuine. Had a bit of depth, but it's, you know, it's a bit too much. Let that do its job. That blob isn't right there. Since this is fire, there's no, you know, can go, it's natural, so there's no wrong. But, you know, fire dances, so make it swirly, make it natural, and give it a feel of movement. This is a crackling fire. Some yellow at the base. I'm just trying out things here. This is just seeing what happens when I do this. Basically, if you make a mistake, you grab your tissue paper and dab it away. Don't really like this. Adding more red. Some dry brushing. See, dry brushing has a really wonderful way of creating texture as well. Let those colors mix together on the paper. And move around that paper. Just let it creep in there. And I put something underneath it, so it's a slight slanted, like it's slightly slanted, so the water just moves towards where I want it to have. It's just a slight slant of 1 centimeter or so. Just put something underneath there, just an eraser or something, and it'll just guide the pigment and water towards where I want the flame to be. We're really close to finished. In comes the tissue again, and just dab away where I feel it's too much color. I want less orange and reds. Some yellows to counterbalance that. And some swirls. These are the final touches, really, because I feel this is a flame. And yeah, that's done, I think. In with the blow dryer. And it's done. Again, you see the vibrancy of the red is lessened, but you can crank that up once you've scanned it. That's it, my friends. That's how I paint fire. I hope you've liked it, and I hope you'll try this technique and you can see all the details, hear the texture that's caused by the droplets and the water, the way I work. And it's a perfect, ideal way of doing this. I've left the hard edges, but you can also soften them if you want. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've liked this tutorial. Thank you for your support, and see you next time.